Never get mad at him. Use these feminine words instead. If you found yourself getting into situations with a man where there's conflict, where you start wanting to argue with him, complain, attack him, blame him in some way, or if he's attacking and blaming you, if he's criticizing you and making you feel triggered in some way, where you start to get upset, because these things can be so important to a relationship to determine whether a relationship becomes an upward spiral of love and devotion or a downward spiral of pain, suffering, and a man ultimately pulling away and losing the relationship with him. Hi, I'm Brody Boyd with Magnetize, your man, and for over 20 years combined with my wife, Antia, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man they want fast. So let's go ahead and start diving into what are the powerful words that you want to use instead of fighting with the man, arguing with him, or getting mad at him. So the first words to use are, may I ask for some help? This can totally change the dynamic. When you're combative with a man, when things are getting heated because of some conflict, because of some unmet needs, there can be a tendency for you to want to start placing demands on him, that he change, that he fix himself in some way, that he gives you what you want, which is masculine energy. It is trying to control him. It is trying to lead him, just like in a dance. Now you are the one trying to lead him around the dance floor. A man will feel disrespected by this and he won't like it. However, the other feminine masculine principle is that the masculine likes to give and to solve problems, and the feminine is about receiving and about sharing those problems that can be solved. So if you ask for help and ask him to help you in the moment where you feel triggered, where you feel that there's a problem coming up, an issue, a desire that you have, or an unmet need, you can shift the energy where now he wants to actually help you. He wants to give his masculine energy. He feels your vulnerability. He feels that you are like the quote unquote damsel in distress, that's not attacking him, that's not blaming him, that's not pushing him away, but actually simply asking for help, asking for assistance, wanting him to provide and be that hero, which he will likely feel inspired by, because every man has a masculine core, and that will activate that masculine core within him, and he will want to give to you instead of fight you. The next words to use instead of getting mad is to say, I apologize for being disrespectful when I. So what this means is that when you are in a heated moment with a man, when there is some tension between the two of you, when you've gotten to that spat mode, what can shift the energy is you actually cleaning up your side of the street, taking ownership for things you might have done or said that were disrespectful to him. Ultimately, the masculine wants to be respected, the feminine wants to be loved and adored. So if you show him that you trust and respect him in that moment, you can shift the energy where now he's actually wanting to feel more love and devotion for you. It's getting activated within him because of the law of polarity, which states opposite energies attract. When you start to show him unconditional respect, he'll be activated to want to show you unconditional love. So by you apologizing for being disrespectful in some way, and of course you don't want to make it up if it's not true, if you haven't done anything disrespectful or said anything disrespectful, but likely if you look in and you inquire within yourself, which is also feminine energy by the way, inner focus, you will see that there was probably something you said or did that was also disrespectful in some way, whether you were mothering him, you were trying to lead him, you were trying to change him in some way, you were accusing him of something or blaming him for something or criticizing him about something. That if you can become aware of what that thing was that you said and you take ownership for that, that can dissolve the tension and cause him to start coming towards you. So for example, you could say in the heat of the moment, could I share something with you? And he'll say, sure. And you say, I just noticed that yesterday I said something that may have been disrespectful to you when I said that you should stop doing XYZ, or that you need to do this or that, or that you need to change this. And I realized that was me trying to control you. And I just want to say, I'm sorry for that. I apologize for that. And then just be quiet. Don't say anything else after that, and see how he responds. See what he does. Be the witness, because you want to be detached from the outcome. Simply observe his behavior, see what he changes, see what he responds with, and then you can go from there. Likely he's going to respond with some care and devotion for you, maybe apologizing for something on his end, but you want to be detached from that because he's going to do whatever he's going to do. And then likely he will shift, and likely you can create a deeper connection with him in that moment. The next words to say instead of getting angry is, I appreciate. So the masculine energy loves appreciation. The deep desire of the masculine is to feel valued, that he is needed in some way, that he is appreciated for what he brings to the table, who he is as a man, because he needs to know that he's bringing value to the world, that he is of service in some way to his community, to his people, to the world, and especially to you if you are his woman or a woman that he's close to. So when you share that you appreciate him about something, that can totally shift the energy again from tension, from fighting, from him pushing against you or pushing away from you, to then coming close, to wanting to connect to you again. So my wife did this very well. When we were first dating, she would often shift when we would have a fight or have some tension or an argument. At some point, she would soften and she would say something like, I don't want to fight you anymore, or she would hold my hand, or she would come close to me or hug. And I would do it sometimes with her as well, but she would often be the one that would be softening up. And that made me feel really great as a man that she was showing me her vulnerability. She was showing me her femininity and being willing to drop the armor, even if we both had something to do with the argument or the disagreement. And that made me want to show care and love and devotion for her and shift my energy to be a better man for her, to be a better, at the time, boyfriend and fiance. So it's a powerful energy. And you could do this by simply sharing appreciation. Like, thank you for listening to me yesterday. Or I remembered when you did this thing for me, when you fixed my car last year, and I just want to say I really appreciated that. Or something he's doing right now, like, I really appreciate that we can have these conversations together. Or I appreciate your strength. I appreciate your ability to listen to me and hear what I'm saying in these moments. Or when you want to inquire how I'm feeling, that makes me feel really good. And that's where appreciation becomes very powerful, is when you actually share how he makes you feel. You share the thank you, the acknowledgement and appreciation, then you can share how the emotional impact actually is expressed through yourself by saying something like, I feel so safe when you did this. I feel so happy when you did this. I feel so grateful when you said this yesterday or now. Whatever he's doing, that can shift the energy, and it's much more powerful than getting angry or continuing to argue and be upset. Now, before we get to our next point, if you haven't yet and you really want to master these principles of magnetic feminine communication, magnetic feminine polarity, to attract a man to you, to draw him in and have him even feel real deep feelings of love and devotion for you without pushing him away or having a man reject you or leave a relationship or continue to be distant, then I would highly recommend getting this all customized and personalized just for you by taking our free Magnetize Your Man quiz, which we'll put the link in the comments or description below this video now, where you can get that, or you can go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com. Now, the next words to say instead of getting mad at him are the powerful words, I feel. Whenever you share the words I feel, you're opening up your heart as a woman. You are expressing your feminine energy, which will draw him to you, which will make him feel you, because a man ultimately wants to feel your heart. He wants to feel your open, available, vulnerable, feminine heart, which brings up this feeling of warmth for him. It's like him being able to witness the glow of the sun on his face, being able to feel that energy that is so magnetic. It's like a little kitten. It just feels adorable. It feels like he wants to protect you in that moment rather than continuing to fight and push against you and have this armor up. He wants to actually maybe push against you in a good way and kiss you or make out with you or hold you or hug you. So it's a totally different energy that you can create in a man when you use the words I feel, because it's about yourself. It's not about him. And because when you share those emotions, he wants to feel the whole spectrum. Even if you're feeling quote unquote negative emotions at the time, like anger, sadness, anxiety, he wants to feel that, as well as the bliss and the happiness and the gratitude and the joy, etc. So use that phrase, I feel, which is also the feminine expression. Rather than saying I think, share with him how you're feeling. I'm feeling some sadness right now. I'm feeling some anxiety and I don't know what to do. Or I'm feeling really grateful for us being able to talk about these things in a deep way. Or I feel tired right now. I need to get some space. I need to go take a break. And then we can talk later. Does that sound good to you? Does that sound okay with you? So these are powerful phrases you can use to give yourself some space as well and actually feel into what are you feeling in on your body, to tap into that when before you might have been up in your head getting angry, getting triggered, thinking about what you're going to say next. Go into your body, feel into it, feel your breath in your lungs like my wife likes to say, or your butt on the chair. Get into your body, your feet on the ground, and actually pay attention to what is your body feeling right now. What are the sensations in your gut, in your heart, and then share that with him. With that simple statement, I feel, and you often don't have to add anything else beyond that except that simple phrase. The next words to say instead of getting mad at him are, I hear what you're saying. So in the heat of a battle, a verbal battle, such as an argument with a man, you may be dismissing his words. You may actually be so focused on what you're upset about or what you want to change about him that you're not actually listening to him. You're not hearing what he has to say, his perspective. And that is actually highly disrespectful in those moments. If you're interrupting a man, especially, if you're cutting him off, if you're not letting him actually share his perspective, he's going to feel disrespected, which is the ultimate thing that will make a man pull away from a relationship. So you want to avoid that. And instead, you have of course, the ability and the right to share what you're feeling, but take the time to share what he's saying first, ideally. Listen to him, hear him out, ask him questions about it. When you said that, what does that mean to you? When you said the word commitment, what does commitment mean to you? Or can I ask you more about that? Or just say the simple phrase, I hear you, or tell me more, or what else do you want to share? So listen to him, let him share his full perspective. As Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand before seeking to be understood. Hear all of it, receive all that he is giving, his masculine gift, the penetration. Allow yourself to receive that and feel it and hear it. And then from that place, you can ask to share your perspective by saying something like, I hear you. Is it okay if I share a thought I have on that as well? Or is it okay if I share a feeling I'm having about that right now? And then you can share the rest of what's going on for yourself, and you can have a dialogue about that so he can also solve your problems and hear you out so that he can be the hero. But it's so important to first show that respect, that unconditional respect, allow him to feel fully received and heard, and then to continue the interaction. Otherwise, it can just become that downward spiral, the crazy cycle of getting into more and more argument where you become more and more disrespectful, he becomes more and more unloving towards you, and it just ends up being very nasty. We want to avoid that. The next words to say instead of getting mad at him are, I would love. So a man, if he has any level of care for you, he wants to make you happy. He's getting his sense of masculine value actually by knowing that he's able to make you happy. And if he feels like he's not able to make you happy, he's going to feel like a loser at some point. He's going to feel like a failure as a man. I can't even make my woman happy. How good of a man am I? I must really suck at life. And that's why it's so important to weave in appreciation. And also the next piece, which we're going to teach you, saying the words, I would love, giving him a clear idea of what you actually need to be happy, what you want to be happy, but in a respectful way. If you're just nagging at him and complaining at him and telling him what to do, that's not going to feel good to him. And he's going to feel more disrespected. He's going to feel more like he needs to get away from that relationship. So it's so important that you allow a man to know that he can win with you, that the ways that he is winning and that he is doing a good job in some areas, even if they're really tiny, so that he doesn't feel like his masculine self-esteem is empty. He's not getting anything out of the relationship. He's not providing anything for you, and that he should just move on and that you would probably be happier with somebody else. So that's why sharing the words, the phrase, I would love, will be great to weave in to a conversation you're having with a man by simply saying, I would love if we could talk a little bit more about this, or I would love if we could spend some time together this weekend, or I would love if you could help me figure this out. Now, a lot of this also has to do with the energy that you're coming with, because if you say, I would love if you just stop it right now, that's not going to feel very good to him. But if you say, I would love if we could take some space and just both process what we talked about and then talk more about it later, can ask what you think about that. That's a lot softer. It's a lot more respectful. So a lot of this is about the energy that you're coming across with as well when you say these words. Because if you say them from a masculine place and a place where you have the energy of attack, the energy of blame, the energy of shaming him or emasculating him, it's not going to feel good and it's not going to have as much power. The next words to say instead of getting mad at him are, can I ask what you think about ... So you're asking him what he thinks about certain ideas, certain feelings, certain solutions, so that you can actually hear him out and you can actually help him inspire into his own masculine energy so that he wants to figure it out, solve the problem, and give you that solution, which is him fulfilling his masculine role of being the problem solver, being the hero, being the strategist, being the leader, and helping you to be happier. So you ask him those kind of questions like, can I ask what you think about this idea? If you have an idea for how you can both find a good solution that's win-win for both of you, whatever the issue is, whether you feel like he's not texting you enough, he's not giving you enough attention, that he's so busy spending time playing video games or at work or with other things, you can say something like, can I ask what you think about us going on a vacation this weekend? Or can I ask what you think about if we were to get some support with helping us with this issue? Or simply, can I ask what you think a good solution to this could be? And then hear him out. Listen. What does he have to say? What is he thinking? What's on his mind? And what ideas does he have for actually finding a win-win for this problem. Because ideally you want him to take that leadership and you want him to start to figure it out, because he's going to take more ownership over it once he actually is the one to put that investment in and put that ownership into solving the problem as well. The next word to say instead of getting mad at him is the simple word, ouch. Sometimes all you need to just say is ouch, and then just be quiet or walk away. Because if you let a man feel the impact, feel the actual effect of his words or of his actions, that can often shift him without you immediately going back into attack and blaming him for something or talking about what he did wrong, that you simply say, ouch. So again, you can simply express the impact, let him feel it, and then take space so that you don't get triggered more and that you don't start engaging more. And then hopefully he will be inspired to want to help you in that moment, to realize that he did say something or did something hurtful, and to then come from a place of showing care for you and wanting to help. The next thing to say instead of getting mad at him is simply nothing. Oftentimes, the best solution is really no solution. It is not doing anything. It's simply being quiet and letting the issue kind of process, letting him have some space, letting it sit, letting the tension sit even. There's a powerful principle my wife talks about often, which is being comfortable with the tension, letting things slide, letting things just be, and having that be okay. That's part of also detaching from the outcome, which is a feminine principle, to let it go and let it just flow. Let it flow through you. Let the anger flow through you. Let the anxiety flow through you, the hurt flow through you even. Process it. Allow yourself to grieve. Sometimes if you're by yourself, you simply just need to cry into a pillow or scream into a pillow, or just let yourself go out in nature, process it, meditate, talk to some girlfriends, but not necessarily to say anything to him, to send him a nasty text message or to send him a nasty email or write it out, this long novel of all the thoughts and feelings that you have and dump it onto him. Simply to just let it have some space. And once you're in a more balanced center within yourself, to then ask him for a conversation, to then ask him if you can share something, and to have that conversation using magnetic feminine communication that will teach you and will actually give you a specific script for on what to do and how to have these conversations in a powerful way, so that he will be inspired to show love and care for you rather than anger and more nastiness or hurt towards you. The next words to say instead of getting mad at him are, I respect your opinion. Again, the masculine craves respect and to be trusted. So if you show him that you respect his opinion, you respect his decision, you respect his leadership, that's going to go a long way to helping him feel like he's a powerful man and that he's a good man for you, that he's actually admired in your eyes at some level, and that he wants to do that more and more, that he wants to be a man who is respectable, who is providing value for you, who is good enough, strong enough, powerful enough to be your man, to be a hero, and live up to those expectations that you may have of him when you see him in a positive light. So saying that little phrase occasionally while you're talking to him, like, I respect your thoughts, I respect your opinion, I respect what you have to say, or just simply, I respect you, can be very powerful and could go a long way to help him feel attraction for you, interest, chemistry, passion, polarity, and want to provide more of that help towards you. The next words to say instead of getting angry at him are the words, I trust you. Again, trust and respect, they're powerful phrases, powerful energies to use with a man. So when you tell him, I trust you, when he is, maybe you guys have had an argument about something, about what's the right decision, and then you simply just say, I trust you. Whatever it is, I trust you're going to make the right choice. I trust that you got this handled. It's very similar to that statement we said earlier, which is, I respect your opinion. I respect what you have to say. But now giving it up to him and trusting him that he's got it, that he's an intelligent enough man, he's a strong enough man, that he's going to make a powerful choice that's going to help both of you. And if he doesn't, he's going to own that, which will actually give him a lot of pressure. Because now if he feels that you actually trust him to find a solution, to work it out, to make things better for you, he could potentially let you down. He'll let himself down if he doesn't. Now, a lot of this assumes also that you're dealing with a healthy man. I have to add this caveat because there is a percentage of men out there that are deeply broken. It's about 5 to sometimes 15% of men, depending on which population you're looking at, who are damaged in a deep way. They're narcissists, they're sociopaths, they're deeply wounded, they're heavily avoidant attachment styles, and they're going to have a much harder time actually showing care and devotion for a woman and being a healthy man in a relationship. Now, what we teach our clients with the 90-day challenge that we give them, that'll walk you through a process where you have a set period of time to use specific skills and specific language and verbiage to actually shift the man, that men will shift. Even if they're a wounded man, even if they've had a lot of pain in their past or they're damaged in some way, a lot of those men will even shift into showing you care and devotion. And most men, of course, will, who are healthy. But even if your man doesn't, for some reason, after you've used what we taught you, unfortunately, you may need to step away. You may need to get some space and take a break from that relationship. But generally what we see is he's going to show that care and devotion, and he's going to start healing within himself, because you're actually in this process healing your own feminine energy. You're healing your feminine core, becoming a more magnetic feminine woman that is high value. And most men are going to shift into love and care and devotion for you when you do this. And you'd be very surprised and shocked by how many men and how quickly they will shift, and in such a deep way, when you use what we'll teach you. And the last powerful words to use instead of getting mad at him are, I don't know what to do. When you say, I don't know what to do, you're giving it up. You're letting go. You're detaching from the outcome. And most importantly, you're giving it up to him. You're handing it to him like a gift, saying, this is a problem I don't know what to do with. Can you please help me? Can you figure it out? Which will inspire his masculine problem-solving skills and hero instincts to want to fix it, generally. Because now you're also being vulnerable. You're also saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is here. Can you help me? You can add those words on as well, like, can you help me? We mentioned those before, asking for help. But when you give it up to him in that way, that's the ultimate feminine surrender. You're surrendering to him and saying, I don't have anything left. I surrender to you. I don't know what to do. But actually saying those words to him is you coming to him with that open hand, saying like, could you help me? And he will likely then want to help. He will feel inspired because he's feeling that vulnerability. He's feeling that openness that is like a beautiful container that he gets to fill with his masculine presence, with his masculine provision. It is like the way that a masculine energy likes to provide during sex. He likes to give to the openness. He likes to give to the vulnerability. That's what sex is. When the feminine is receiving, the masculine is penetrating and giving. It is you being in the openness and being in the unknown, really, and asking for that gift, being open to that gift from him that he can then give to you and provide that help and that support and that pleasure, ideally, to make you happy, to make you feel safe, secure, to make you feel claimed, that he is your man, that he's got you, and that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure it all out yourself. He's there for you. Why else would you need a man in your life other than for him to provide what he has to give, which is masculine protection? It is his gifts. It is his unique skills. It is his presence, his attention, his sexual gifts, his physical gifts, his emotional gifts, his mental gifts that he might want to give to you. And for you to be able to receive that openly, that is you being fully in your feminine. That is when you know you're in your feminine, when you've gotten to the place where you can receive in that way. You can receive from a man that you care about, a man that you want, and you don't feel the obligation, the need to have to give something back, to have to fix his problems, to have to give to him and mother him in some way. That you can simply allow a man to give, invest into the relationship, and you to receive and show appreciation and gratitude for that, and his problem-solving abilities and his knowledge and his experience and his skills to be able to help you in that way. So it's a very powerful principle. Much love. Hope this was helpful. Love to hear your thoughts or comments below as well. And I'll talk to you again very soon on the next powerful video. Bye-bye.